Hey, I'm Miro. I do Taekwondo, ITF style Taekwondo. I started training with Donnie when I think I was 20 or turning 21. So it was back 2011, and I made the decision to switch down from like my natural weight to be a more competitive lighter weight in the middle weights. And I figured I wanted to do things properly, so I was introduced to Donnie through a connection that actually still trains here, and it's been like history ever since then. I was like, so from the strength standpoint and the body conditioning, the metabolic circuit training, I was very open minded. I never really knew too much about it. Like I always knew, yeah, I go to the gym, strength train, do that, but I never understood the science behind it. So I had a very open mind. I just said to him like, and he was very receptive, and understood that I just care about my martial art, and I really wanted to be the best I could be. Like I didn't know what that defined goal was. I just said I want to get better. I want to be the best I can be. I don't know what the ceiling is. I don't know what my limits are. So I was really willing to do whatever sort of plan he set forth. I just said, here are the dates, here's the divisions I'm competing in, and here's sort of some of the requirements you need to be successful in each division, from like endurance to explosiveness to just like pure vertical jump to being able to control that power without shaking or without sort of losing balance and wobbling when it comes to sort of the more judged sports, which are like patterns. It's been really amazing. It's been like it's been really really amazing, and it's been eye opening to me. Like he's helped me learn so much about myself and so much about what the human body can do when like you're willing to put in the work, when the mindset is there, and when you get rid of all the distractions, and when you tell yourself like this is what matters to me. And he's been like, yeah, very professional, pure professional, and we just kept working. Like it wasn't always great. Like sometimes I got injured. He brought me back from injury like countless times. Like when I doubted myself, he said like no problem. What's our timeline? And we'd always try and give like a 12-month timeline that have like 3 or 4 tournaments in that entire year packed, and we just like did the work that we needed to do based on what I was physically capable of doing, and without jeopardizing sort of my long-term health, which is why like 10 years later I'm here. I think because he's a former athlete, competed in the CFL, and he understands like the aspects of daily life. All the things that come with life, but also all the things that come with being very dedicated to your craft, and just how to balance them and when to balance them. And it's really helped me understand sort of what things you can sort of let go of, and what things you need to hold on to that keep fueling your dream and keep fueling you going forward. And it's like it's different to each person, right? Like I have my own things that I can say this is a distraction to me, like cookies, you know, and like you can't be dealing with that during like a prep, right? But then there's other things where it's like that are very central, and they're the reason why you sort of pursue your sport or your craft. That he said we need to keep these in the picture at all times while we're doing the conditioning, while we're doing the actual like training for the competition. I was a little apprehensive. Like I'm not like an overly confident individual. I always like, maybe it's I respect the day too much, or it's like it's always something I've thought about striving towards but never actually standing there, because I feel like it should never, to me, like being like the world's best at anything is like such a temporary thing. Like you're that good for a day, and it always seems like something you should always strive for, but it should be unobtainable. It should always be like the person who's closest to being a gold medalist on that day. And going into that day, I was like a little bit injured, and we just stuck to the fundamentals. Like it was really I don't know. It was a blessing to have that happen. Like I just stuck to what I knew I could do, and I didn't lose faith. And then when I stepped in the ring, I knew I was gonna like not hit the first one, because I knew like the range of motion wasn't available to me that day, and I just kept the faith and just said this is what we plan to do, and then executed the other 4 techniques after that, and it was enough. It was enough to win that day. Just like focus on the task. Like when you step in that ring, you're just like you don't hear anything, you don't feel anything, you don't worry about anything. You just sort of like, here's the task at hand, break it down into the numbers, and you can hit these numbers, and just go and do it. And it's like like the slogans up here. I think it's like you're only going to be as good as you train, and as good as you train to be. You're not going to pull anything else out of yourself that you haven't done in training before, and that's really what we just sort of focused on, because we said going in, like, we know we can do these 4, and we'll just have to do those 4 as best we can, and hope it's then just after that we've done everything we could do, and it was enough. He's been with me since like day one, and he's always like surprised me with new stuff, and it's like I didn't want to finish this journey with anybody else, really, right? Like, and he's just like, he knows everything. In my mind, I think he just knows everything. I think you gotta always be humble, and for me, it meant like surrounding myself with good people who would help me become the best version of myself that I could be. And I think you need to surround yourself with these people, coaches, teachers, a good group that'll help you stay honest with yourself, stay honest with your goals, and keep you striving and keep you pushing forward. And within your respective sport, yes, like I have people I idolize. I have like targets in terms of like how many titles you could achieve, or how many titles has so and so achieved, and other records that people have established before me. And I want to, as much as I want to learn from those idols, like I don't want to just try and be a copycat and copy those idols. I want to try and emulate some of their styles, because I believe they all have something to offer me to help me complete the puzzle that is my journey. And by taking bits and pieces that I feel I can fit into my own personal journey, my own puzzle, if you will, that'll help me become a more complete version of myself, and a better version of myself, hopefully. And whether that means like 0 championships or 10 championships, like I can't predict that, and I can't really like I can't really put too much weight into that. But I can always keep striving towards that, right? And I figure for sure, if you're willing to work hard and you're willing to establish that work ethic day in and day out, it'll translate to anything else you set your mind to that maybe doesn't have such like a cutthroat environment, where it's like a knockout stage tournament where it's like only one guy advances, and no matter how many great athletes show up, there's only going to be one first place.